Sometimes, the scariest things aren't what we see, but what's watching in the dark.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
Graveyards, jungles, and forgotten paths often hide what no one dares speak of.
What the is that?
Let's start this chilling compilation with a man who was digging, unaware he was being watched by someone unknown. An Indonesian man was casually recording himself while digging through a garbage dump. Just a regular day, really, until it wasn't. Mid-dig, he suddenly heard something. When he turned, there it was. A pale, ghostly face staring at him from the side of the freshly dug ditch. Frozen in shock for a moment, the man quickly realized what he was looking at and took off. The clip went viral in no time, sparking a wave of theories online. Some said it was just a discarded mask he unearthed by accident. Others believed he had disturbed the resting place of something not quite human. But I'll leave the final verdict to you. Into the grave. A strange video surfaced on the internet recently, showing a man slipped and fell into an open grave during a burial. That alone was bad enough, but watch closely. What happened next? Just as he tumbled in, something grabbed him. A gray, human-like hand clutched his shoulder and pulled him down. The video spread like wildfire, leaving people shaken. Some believed it was the spirit of the person buried, taking revenge for something the man had done in the past. Others swore it was proof of the undead, something that didn't want to stay buried. Skeptics called it a prank, or maybe a promo for a horror film, but there has been no updates regarding the incident, so we might never find out what it was. Grave mistake. Playing around in creepy places is one thing, but this guy took it to a whole new level. He found an empty grave in an old, abandoned cemetery and laid down in it. Yeah, not exactly the smartest move. That's when things got weird. His shirt was suddenly yanked by something he couldn't see. Of course, the internet had a field day. Some said it was a restless spirit, maybe someone who'd passed away tragically and never found peace. Whatever it was, he's lucky it only pulled his shirt, because if it had decided to keep him there, he wouldn't have been posting about it. Coffin hand. Back in 2023, a group of friends set out to explore the historic La Plata Cemetery in Buenos Aires. Things got eerie fast. They found a hole in one of the ancient mausoleums and decided to peek inside. The chamber was crammed with old coffins. At first glance, nothing seemed off, but when they reviewed the footage later, they spotted it. A pale hand, quickly slipping back into one of the coffins the moment the guys leaned in. It was too fast to notice in real time, but once they slowed it down, there was no denying it. Was it a spirit still bound to its body, or something far darker that never wanted to be found? Demonic creature. Exploring an abandoned building, this guy landed himself straight into a horror movie. He wandered into an eerie-looking room, and what he found inside was absolutely chilling. But instead of running away, he decided to get a closer look. There, in the middle of the room, inside what looked like a grave, was a humanoid creature wrapped in cloth. Its face was unnervingly demonic, and a black, clawed arm rested at its side. The way it moved was unsettling. It seemed subdued, almost like it was bound by some kind of spell. Or maybe it was just badly injured. Honestly, watching this gives me the chills. What do you think could explain this? Monument ghost. There's a village monument that locals say is haunted, so of course, these two friends had to check it out for themselves. They reached the site just before midnight, and that's when it happened. Something peeked out from behind the structure. At first glance, it looked like a woman, but as they stepped closer, it became clear. This wasn't ordinary. Her hair was wild, eyes wide open with no lids in sight, and that grin, it stretched all the way to her ears. Then, she slipped back behind the monument. But when the guys rushed over to check, there was no one there. So was it a ghost? Or something even worse pretending to be human? Haunted forest. This guy was just wandering through the local woods at night, because apparently sleep is overrated, when he felt an eerie sense that something was watching him. He flashed his light around, and there it was. A floating face in the dark, red skin, one twisted horn, and a mouth full of jagged fangs grinning back at him. It didn't move. People online were quick to claim it was the demon of the woods, a cursed spirit that guards the area. Others joked it was just an old Halloween mask tossed by some prankster. But let's be honest, what would a mask be doing deep in the woods? Tunnel crawler. This guy took on a test of courage by exploring an abandoned site, but what he found inside was way beyond what he signed up for. While wandering through the place, he spotted a dark tunnel. And, of course, curiosity got the best of him. He shined his light inside, only to catch a pale, humanoid figure crawling toward him on all fours. That was enough. He turned and bolted. The footage left everyone chilled. Folks online debated endlessly. Some were sure it was a skinwalker, others believed it was a restless spirit still haunting the place. Skeptics, of course, called it just another prank. Graveyard Entity. Take a good look at this footage and tell me what you see. As the camera slowly panned across a graveyard, something, or someone, came into view. Crouched on top of a grave was a strange, hunched figure. It looked humanoid, but was it cloaked in heavy robes, or was that thick, matted fur? But when the camera panned back just seconds later, it was gone. The internet was split. Some were convinced it was a witch, performing some eerie ritual to bring a loved one back. Others swore it was the spirit of the very person buried there, not quite ready to rest. All I know is, that thing noticed the camera and didn't like being seen. Coffin Movement. Someone was quietly filming a funeral ceremony when the camera caught something eerie. At first glance, it looked like something small was poking out of the coffin, maybe a flower, but then it moved. A child leaning over noticed it too and tried to reach out, just as the thin, spindly shape suddenly slipped back inside. The moment was quick, but impossible to ignore. Some netizens claimed it was the spirit trying to escape, still clinging to the world. Others shrugged it off as a lighting glitch or camera blur. But if it was nothing, why did the child react like that? Park creature. Craving those peaceful late-night walks? Well, this clip might have you rethinking that. A man out for a stroll had the shock of his life when a figure crept out from behind a tree. It had an oversized head, unnaturally long limbs, and moved on all fours, like it wasn't fully human, or fully anything. The internet went wild. Some swore it was a skinwalker caught mid-transformation. Others said it looked just like the Rake, a creature straight out of nightmares. Let me know your take on this in the comments. Crawling visitor. A guy went back to his village for some peace, a little break with family. But that peace didn't last. One night, shuffling sounds around the house woke him up. Curious, he stepped outside and froze. It was a woman, crawling on all fours along the low boundary wall. But as she stood up, it hit him. This wasn't a woman. Its face was distorted, almost demonic, and its glowing eyes locked onto his like it knew he was watching. He ran inside and locked the doors. People say it could be a churel, a restless female spirit from South Asian folklore. But others think it's something worse, because according to locals, that area had always been haunted. Farmhouse Beast.
Yo, what the is that?
A man out exploring an old abandoned farmhouse got more than just creepy vibes. As he filmed from outside, something moved in the upper window. It looked like a demonic entity. Before he could react, the creature vanished deeper into the house, but not before pacing the window like a beast in a cage. It wasn't just the size, it was the way it moved, staggeringly. Some say it might have been a spirit trapped in the house. Others claim it was something darker, older. Whatever it was, it left the man and the internet completely shaken.
What the is that?
Grave broadcast. In Saratoga, a reporter was doing a live segment from Green Ridge Cemetery just before sunrise. Everything seemed fine, until a viewer suddenly commented saying that there seemed to be something behind her, and they were right. The camera caught a pale, see-through figure gliding across the screen. Slow, almost floating. The reporter was completely unaware. She just kept talking, not knowing what netizens were seeing in real time. Some say it was just lighting tricks, a camera glitch maybe, but those who watched it live swear it was a spirit. Either way, I'm not sticking around a graveyard to find out. Basement haunting.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم قل هو الله أحد.
This guy went ghost hunting in an old, abandoned hospital, and like all horror stories, he made his way straight to the basement. It was dark and empty, but then he saw a clear, humanoid shape standing just ahead in the gloom. Braver than most, he ran toward it, but when he looked up, there was nothing to see. The entity had completely vanished. Skeptics say it was just shadows or lights playing tricks on the eye, but the figure was caught on camera, and some netizens are convinced that wasn't just an illusion, that was something otherworldly.
قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد.
Shifting figure. This family was relaxing on the porch of their countryside home when something caught their eye. A figure walking up the road. At first glance, it looked like a man, but then it started glowing, faintly, eerily, and its shape began shifting, like it was struggling to hold itself together. It walked with a strange, almost broken rhythm, as if it was trying very hard to mimic a human, but failing. The internet was divided. Some swore it was a ghost caught mid-transformation, trying to appear human before dissolving into mist. Others weren't so sure, calling the video too convenient. But one thing's clear, whatever that was, it wasn't walking like one of us. Hotel Stalker.
What are you talking about?
A woman recently posted a video claiming something tried breaking into their hotel room. It was 3 a.m. when they started hearing strange scraping noises by the window. Thinking it might be a thief, she grabbed her phone and started recording. But what showed up on camera was not a burglar. A long, pale, humanoid figure stood outside the window. Its waxy, emotionless face stared inside, looking almost fake under the dim lights. The kids were terrified, and honestly, so was the internet. Some were quick to call it Slender Man, creeping into real life. Others said it had to be a mannequin prank, but this was definitely no regular night at the hotel. Porch Entity. Imagine pulling into your driveway late at night, only to see this. A strange black, smoke-like figure was hovering right there on the porch. The family stood frozen, watching it shift and ripple like living mist. At one point, it formed a humanoid shape, peeking through their window like it was searching for someone. And then it jumped off the porch and vanished into the night air. The footage went viral, sparking wild theories. Was it a lost spirit? A demon? Or maybe something even older that didn't appreciate being caught on camera? Whatever it was, I'm sure they never went back into the house again.
This is moving. What am I looking at?
Hospital spirit. Back in 2014, a nurse working alone on a quiet hospital floor began hearing strange noises echoing through the hallway. Curious, she stepped out and caught sight of something unusual. So she pulled out her phone and hit record. What she captured still gives people chills to this day. A shadowy figure appeared on camera, slowly moving out of a patient's room. The figure closely resembled a man who had recently passed away after a serious event. The nurse was left shaken, certain she had just seen his spirit lingering in the corridor. Many believe hospitals, especially at night, are hot spots for energy that never quite leaves. Possessed robes. This eerie footage was taken during an ordinary church service, but what the camera picked up was anything but ordinary. As the priest delivered his sermon, you can clearly see hands pushing and shifting under his robe, like something trapped inside. Strangely enough, the priest didn't seem to notice a thing. People online were shaken. Some believed it was a demon struggling to break free from within the man's soul. Others thought it was the priest himself who wasn't in control, that something else was. Whatever the truth is, one thing's for sure, this wasn't just a trick of the light. Wall walker. A homeowner woke up around midnight craving a glass of water. Out of habit, he checked his Ring camera, and what he saw left him frozen. A figure came into frame, clearly blocking the porch light as it passed by. But then, just as suddenly, it walked straight through a wall, solid enough to block light, yet able to phase through brick. Even the man, a skeptic of anything supernatural, admitted he'd never seen anything like it. Online theories took off. Some swore it was a ghost. Others claimed it looked like a goblin or some cryptid with the power to slip between dimensions. Seawalker. Late at night, a man was walking alone down a deserted street and started live streaming. That's when things got creepy. A figure began trailing him from a distance. It was too dark to make out a face, but the camera clearly caught it moving. Then, just like that, it vanished. The man was rattled, thinking it was over. But minutes later, the figure reappeared. Only this time, it looked translucent, like a ghost, and right in front of him, it walked straight through a metal railing and into the sea. Some believe it was the spirit of an ancient sailor wandering back to where he once belonged. Harmless, but haunting. Stadium haunting. Doing late-night rounds at a football stadium might sound boring until the doors start banging on their own. One guard heard the noise and went to investigate, finding a door slamming open and shut like someone was trapped inside. But when he stepped in, the room was completely empty. This wasn't the first time either. It was his third round checking the same room. But this time, his camera caught something. A shadowy figure gliding along the wall in the changing room. People watching the footage were convinced this wasn't a prank or a draft. It was something tied to the stadium. Something that never left.
Tercera vez que entro.
Prison haunting. This man was exploring an abandoned prison in Nashville when eerie echoes started bouncing off the walls. He followed the sounds deeper into the halls until a heavy door creaked open by itself. At first, nothing seemed strange, or so it seemed. A pair of glowing eyes stared back at him from the shadows, way too high to belong to any normal person. He didn't wait to find out more. He turned and ran. Was it a spirit of a prisoner still stuck in time, or something far more sinister lurking behind those bars? Basement below.
Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah.
This guy thought exploring an abandoned school was spooky enough, until he realized there was a basement underneath it. He heads down, and instantly regrets it. There, hovering in the darkness, was a figure in a white robe, long black hair covering its face. And yep, it wasn't touching the ground. Frozen, he did the only thing he could think of. Started praying loudly. And what happened next? The ghost literally floated up, through the ceiling. Guess the guy scared it off instead. But hey, who's going back to check if it came back? Not me.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ah!
Bizarre entity. A group of friends were cruising past a quiet park late at night when something caught their eye. At first, it looked like a weirdly shaped dog with really long limbs. But as they drove closer, they realized it wasn't a dog. It was something crawling on all fours. Thin, human-like, and slow. And for just a second, its glowing eyes locked onto the car. The friends sped off in a panic, and when they shared the video, people online were just as baffled. Some said skinwalker. Others said a new cryptid. One thing's for sure. Whatever it wasn't something you'd expect to see in a park. Demonic entity.
Allahu Akbar! Wait! Subhanallah! Subhanallah!
A man spending his holidays back at his village encountered something he will never forget. Night had fallen when he reached home. He was planning to go straight to bed, but something on the rooftop caught his eye. It was a demonic-looking creature, pointed ears, a short stature, and sharp clawed hands. The guy was convinced he had seen the devil himself. The hysterical screaming and praying of the man can be heard in the background.
Wait! Subhanallah! Subhanallah!
Making it harder to debunk this clip as staged. Many believe it was a golem-like entity, seeking revenge. Others suggested it could be a goblin. But the video ended abruptly, leaving the being another unsolved mystery.
Allah!
Laorona sighting. A peaceful night out in the countryside. What could go wrong? This family was laughing, chatting, just enjoying the cool night air, until something else joined the party. Out of nowhere, a ghostly figure appeared in the darkness behind them. It was the little girl who saw it first. She pointed straight at it, and that was enough. The whole family scattered in panic. The clip spread fast online, and many were convinced. It was Laorona, the wailing ghost of Mexican folklore, cursed to roam in search of her drowned children. Whether it was real or just a trick of the night, the fear on their faces was no legend. Mirror Child. Ever since they checked into the hotel, the dad kept saying he saw ghosts in the lobby mirror. One day, he decided to record it. As they walked past the mirror, his toddler stopped and started playing with his own reflection. But when you watch the footage closely, you'll spot something chilling. Another misty child was inside the mirror, staring right back. And here's the thing, when the toddler turned away, that other kid stayed there, still watching, proving it wasn't a reflection or a trick of the light. Some online said it was just smudges, but others believed that the mirror held the spirit of a child trapped on the other side, still waiting. Street Stalker. This woman just stepped out for some fresh air, but what she saw down the street was anything but refreshing. As she casually filmed the quiet road, a strange figure came into view. It looked humanish, but the way it moved was completely off. Its legs looked like they belonged to an animal, and it stumbled forward awkwardly until it heard her. Then it turned. It had no features, just a smooth, pitch-black face staring her way. Yeah, she ran. Online theories exploded, some calling it a skinwalker, others blaming clever editing. Closet culprit.
Maybe it's starting.
This couple had been dealing with some seriously creepy stuff in their house, but nothing prepared them for what they caught on camera. One night, after hearing weird noises, they started recording. The closet door was wide open and a coat was tossed on the floor. And then, another door creaked open by itself. But the real scare came just as the guy shut the closet and turned around. A pale face with glowing eyes and bared teeth peeked from behind another door before slamming it shut. Just a flash, but enough to give anyone nightmares. I don't know about you, but I won't be sleeping a wink tonight. Roadside spirit. This guy was out for a late-night ride, cruising down a nearly empty road, when something very strange happened. Out of nowhere, a figure appeared right in front of him. He swerved hard, barely avoiding what could have been a serious crash. But when he looked back, there was no one there. If you re-watch the video, and you'll spot it. A pale humanoid figure running one moment, and then quickly fading away. The rider believed it was the spirit of someone tied to a past accident on that very stretch, and now it is believed to linger, appearing to those who get too close. Auditorium haunting. As the woman gathered equipment from the empty school auditorium, the others were still in the counselor's office nearby. Then she heard footsteps behind her. She turned, expecting a late guest, but the room was empty. Brushing it off, she kept working, until the footsteps came again. Louder this time. First walking, then running, straight at her. She quickly moved aside, but saw nothing. Later, when the footage was checked, misty, glitch-like shapes darted across the screen, right where the footsteps had echoed. People online were quick to speculate. Some say the school was built over an old graveyard. Others believe these are vengeful spirits, tied to the place long before it became a school. Octo monster. A Brazilian farmer was tilling the ground for next year's crops when suddenly the earth beneath his feet gave way, revealing a vast chasm, and within it was something truly horrifying. Numerous tentacles swirled around the main body of the creature that kind of resembled an octopus, except they don't burrow into the mud like that. Terrified, the farmer bravely managed to film the thing for a few seconds before fleeing the place. Now the question is, if the video wasn't fabricated, where did that octopus monster go? Because the farmer reported it had just vanished when he came back with the authorities. Ghost in chair. A mother decided to check the surveillance footage from her child's room after hearing strange sounds at night. And what she found left her shaken. The child was just watching cartoons, nothing unusual, until the screen flickered. That's when a pale, translucent face appeared, sitting in the chair across from the TV. It looked like another child, watching along, but as the screen brightened, the face vanished completely, like it had never been there at all. The internet was quick to react. Many believed it was a spirit, maybe even malevolent, and urged the mother to keep her child far from that room. Would you go back in there after seeing something like that? Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.